told you. Wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, wake up, I gotta.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another wonderful, wonderful episode of none other than the College Couch Podcast. I'm your host, one of the hosts, Javaris Harris, along with my brother, as always, Stackz Delbridge, forever in the building. I see you. I see you're ready to go over here. Like, you have the entire. I mean, you are dressed down from head to toe in
Yes.
Auburn here right now, and I can't even be upset about it, brother. Like,
Disrespectfully. You know?
I can't
All
even
the people
be.
that been hitting my phone, this is for y'all. This is for y'all. Ain't nothing changed. Nothing changed
Listen,
around this way.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So, but it was a crazy. It's been a crazy weekend
I
in
believe
college
it.
sports.
It has definitely been a crazy weekend within college sports, specifically college football. And I mean, the three games that we have lined up, it was rivalry weekend. So of course we have, we have the Iron Bowl in the lineup. We have the Kentucky Louisville game in the lineup, and as well as we have the game itself, Ohio State in Michigan. But bro, we're not gonna waste any time here. This is the most anticipated post game interview. I mean, following what is this now? 48 hours post game. I mean, the people want to hear from you, Stackz. We need to know where your mindset is right now. Like, this was a game that was pretty much for y'all to win, and it literally just slipped through the cracks. So we need to hear from you. But first, just because I don't know what's gonna come out of your mouth, we're gonna go ahead and I think we're ready. We're ready. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
No,
ahead.
man. I mean, it definitely stung a bit. It definitely stung a bit, man. Like, not
Mhm.
that was as good as game as you can play for a rivalry
Mhm.
that's that big. I mean, for it to come down to the last minute. I mean, with a rivalry, you want everybody to be on the edge of that seat, meaning the team that's winning and the team that's losing are facing the same challenge and a different challenge at the same time. Both of them on the edge because they don't know what's gonna happen. One's trying to stop the other one's trying to convert so that they can, win. So the fact that it even came to that, for me, I'm proud of my team because let's be real, nobody thought we was gonna be, even in this game after losing to New Mexico State last week. Nobody thought, hey, this team probably could compete with Bama, but didn't like some of the play calls in the ending. I mean, I have my uh perspective on it. I probably would have rushed a little more, put a little more pressure on Jalen Milroe, but I also understand that it's a Hail Mary here because they can't run anything else. I mean, you can't kick a field goal. It's 4th and 31. You kind of got to just throw the ball up and hope for the best. And the player wasn't badly covered. He that was just a great ball by Jalen Milroe. I mean, he didn't have any space to throw it at all at the corner of the end zone. I mean, literally a
Mhm.
toe tap. But yeah, that one stung a lot.
Mhm.
Because I mean, you do all of that work to keep the game close, to go up late,
Mhm.
you know. And I want to give a shout out because I know he gets a lot of flack. Peyton Thorne in those last moments before that last final play, um, he worked his tail off. I mean, he he used his leg, got us first down at the first down on that last drive before Bama took it in for a score. I mean, I want to give it to him. He played tough for it. Man, his first time in the SEC, first time at an Iron Bowl, first time in that environment. You know, that's tough for not only a quarterback before a team, but for a quarterback to lead his team in the uncharted waters. Like, this is big, especially if you're not from the South and you don't understand the size of this game, this importance of this game is tough. So I want to say, give a shout out to him
Mm-hmm.
and all the running backs and Johnson had a beautiful game. I mean, he rushed for one, and I'm not sure if he scored or he scored one through the air. He
Yeah,
caught one.
he scored
Yeah,
one on the
I
ground,
thought
and
so.
yeah,
I
yeah.
couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I knew
Mm-hmm.
he caught. I know he ran for one. So he caught one, ran for one, and he had a big play to put us in position to get field goals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so he is yeah, I mean, this gives me optimism for the future for Auburn. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
we got a new head coach this year after having a struggling 2 years under Brian Harsin. So Hugh Freeze, I think, has his team headed in the right direction. I mean, we really competed out there. You
Yeah.
know, we really competed. I mean, for it to be guys that some of the guys, I won't say all of them, for there to be guys that are new to the South or new to the SEC or new to Auburn, not understanding the rivalry, they played it very well. I mean, the defense, was prideful. They didn't give up any crazy plays to where you like, what are you doing? Up until that last play. I mean, but even then, I mean, let's call it what it is. I mean, you want to say
Mm-hmm.
bad defense, you want to do that, but if you don't have those players back deep, it's kind of hard to cover a Hail Mary. But then if you rush those people, you get Jalen Milroe in space, just like he had time there. I mean, he creates space. So, I mean, it's kind of like a double-edged sword type of thing. You want to put pressure on it, but also his strength is when you do put pressure on him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just a good throw, good play,
Yeah.
good throw. I mean, it hurts, but you leave it on the field. I mean, they left everything they had on the field, in my opinion. I mean, they gave us Auburn fans something to be excited about. I say that. We were able to cheer all the way up until the end. You know,
It was a lot of tears at the end of that game,
I
man. I'm
mean, at
not
the
gonna
end
lie
of the
to you.
game, I mean, because that's just college sports in general,
Yeah.
especially college football. We know
Mm-hmm.
any given Saturday, it could turn a nail on the head. I mean, it's you just never know. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but especially when it's Auburn, Bama. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how important football is in the state of Alabama. Like, Auburn and Alabama are the professional sports for Alabama. So
Mm-hmm.
these people bleed, sleep, eat, drink
Yeah.
either Bama or Auburn, and they don't ask you no. The only question they ask you when you get there is which one your team, what
Yeah.
side you on. So it's like this is almost religion for a lot of people that are Auburn fans that live in Alabama. So I can understand why you would cry. I personally, I'm invested, but I'm not to the point to where I'm gonna cry after we lose.
Yeah.
Um, but I also have seen us win a championship and go back to one and lose. So I mean, I've seen kind of everything that you can probably see with this Auburn team.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that Hugh Freeze has us competing and has us our recruiting at the level that it is in his first year says a lot about the future. I mean, Bama still has 5 stars, even though people are trying to write them off. They still got 5-star receivers, quarterbacks. Their whole starting team is pretty much 5 and 4 stars. So let's not negate the fact that let's not say that they're not talented. They're very talented. It's just a matter of them gelling together and understanding what they're trying to do. And I think they figured that out, at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even want to say talent got the better of us this game. I just think it was right play,
Mm-hmm.
right pass, right space, right timing, good footwork, preparation. Like Nick Saban even said, they practiced that play all week just in case something like that happens. So you prepare for stuff like that, and then right situation happens, which is the 4th and 31. You throw up a prayer. You literally have the corner of the end zone, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean, it's not, you know, it's a lot that goes into that. I mean, it's a good game. I'm just here to tell you that I'm still War Eagle all day long. We gonna be back next year. They better be ready because I know them boys is gonna be feeling that hurt from that game. Yeah,
Mm,
if I know Auburn football like I do, it's gonna be very, 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 very big in training camp and everything that they have that circle that this game circled, saying, "Hey, we were 3 points away last year.
mm.
We had it. Let's go ahead and bring this thing home this year because
Yeah.
we've been right there, and then this year we were even closer. So
Mm. Yeah.
you know,
Agreed. And I mean, just from an outsider's perspective, this game was really what the Iron Bowl is all about. I mean,
right?
for this game to come up within a 3 point pretty much differential, I think that this was definitely one for the pretty much the ages. I mean, you couldn't ask for more of the Iron Bowl. This is what the Iron Bowl is all about. I mean, again, cross state rival. It's one of the most decorated rivalries in college football for a reason. So yeah, this was definitely a game that I truly enjoyed this past Saturday. Regardless of the outcome, which is unfortunate because I was pulling for Auburn. I mean,
Uh,
I always enjoy seeing a great upset, especially in Auburn. And it's something about the beautiful plains of Auburn, Alabama. I truly enjoy it
what
as a Georgia fan.
magic
But
happens there? Magic
yeah, and
definitely
and I
happens there.
and
And I just
yeah,
want to say I haven't had this many Georgia fans call my phone the entire season. I can tell that Bama and Georgia have a lot on the line
yeah,
whenever my phone starts to ring
hmm
from Georgia fans saying, "Hey, we rooting for y'all today. Y'all gonna pull it out?"
yeah,
I'm like, man, look, we finna go out here and play our game. You know what I'm saying? But it would have definitely been nice to see us come out with that win, even though our season didn't go how we wanted it to. I
hmm
mean, I kind of expected that we were gonna struggle here and there, but the fact that we got to a bowl game to me speaks volumes. Because last year, as we know, we didn't make one.
hmm
So and then last year the Iron Bowl wasn't nearly as competitive, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah,
um yeah, so I mean, just from a fan's perspective, I mean, yeah, it's a lot that needed to be cleaned up, a lot that we wish we could have happened because we fans of the game, we fans of
yeah,
our team. But at the end of the day, the way I look at football and the way I look at it, it's like that's big that
yeah,
you come up 3 points short. Like we've competed all season when we
mhm,
needed to. The defending champs, we came within 7. You got Bama, which is always a juggernaut. We came within 3. So I mean, the talent is there, the dedication is there, the heart is there. Fury's got it, has it rolling. So I mean, we'll see what the off season brings. We'll see
yeah,
us in a bowl game. We'll see what bowl game we end up landing at. But
mhm,
I'm very very optimistic for next year to see what's gonna happen.
yeah,
Not just with Auburn, but with everybody in college football. We'll see with the expansion,
mhm,
everything like that. So we'll see. We'll see.
yeah. I think that was probably one of the best speeches I've heard from an Auburn fan, and I just want to commend you for that. That was beautiful. Like I almost teared up over here because it was very moving. Stacks. That was really good. But another
Man,
another shout out I definitely have to give to is Woodward Academy graduate Damari Alston went absolutely insane. I want to say a
beast.
sophomore,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So I mean, to see someone so local, because of course we're from Georgia, but as far as the Metro Atlanta area, that was really cool to see. I mean, it's always great to see kids that you kind of have heard a lot about in the area, and then when you see them on national television doing the same thing that they were doing for the high school, it's pretty amazing. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to him, man. And he got a good little touchdown in there as well with 80 yards of rushing. So that was pretty
T-
cool. But
Great.
before we get off this game, let's try to go over to this Alabama side of things. Now, you got a lot of calls from Georgia fans, but I got a lot of calls from just fans in general asking me what were my thoughts on potential scenarios of where Alabama could possibly jump into that top four. And me and you had a discussion a little earlier on today, and we were trying to just pretty much like map out and just kind of discuss possible possibilities about Alabama even jumping into the that top four, because it's like what I was saying was it was a possible like 1 in 5 chance maybe, because you would have to think what it was Oregon and
Yeah.
Washington
So
playing each other.
everybody that is before them,
Mm-hmm.
excluding Georgia and Michigan,
Mm-hmm.
everybody pretty much has to lose. You know, which is kind of impossible because
Right.
Washington has to play Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So, if Washington beats Oregon, then Oregon drops out of the conversation because
Yeah.
they will have 2 losses. So then you will have Florida State. So, they have to lose. And then the
Mm-hmm.
question is for them um, would be, okay, well, they only have 1 loss. So what do we put them and who's the fourth?
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have Ohio State with just 1 loss as well. So with that being said, the scenarios basically for Bama, everyone would have to lose,
Mm-hmm.
and then their strength of schedule would have to beat out some of those guys that lost,
Yeah.
and then on top of that, they have to beat Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
So their fate is kind of in their hands, but also in everybody else's hands as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they're
Also,
gonna be rooting.
the committee plays a huge part in that as well.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's in it's other teams and on other people's hands.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I mean, yeah, the committee does what their thing, like it's opinionated. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if it was just up to the committee, in my opinion, Bama would already be in.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion because they have 1 loss. The only loss they have is to Texas, which is number 7.
Mm-hmm.
So if their only loss is to a 7 seed, and that team loses again, and to me, you kind of gotta chuck that up as early season jitters because it was only the first game, and after that they've been rolling.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah.
outside of the close game at USF, but I mean, uh, but I mean, it's a lot of questions, there's a lot of scenarios, a lot of different ways. But either way, Bama has to beat Georgia, which
Mm-hmm.
is a tall task in itself.
Yeah.
Oregon has to lose. You know, Texas has to lose. Florida State will have to lose. And then yeah, and then that would possibly put them in that 4th spot, maybe, you know, if you don't count Ohio State, you know.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't count Ohio State, because it's gonna kind of be hard to keep Washington out of there,
Yeah.
if they beat Oregon, because then, you have an undefeated Washington team that ran the table with Pac-12, which this year Pac-12 has really been good, and I'm surprised and I'm glad because I mean that just pushed the sport even further. But yeah, I mean it's kind of hard to keep a Washington team out of there. And then the question would be whose schedule is stronger if all these teams lose out, and then it'll be between Bama and Ohio State. And it'll come to the committee and they say who do we want to see more? You know, because do we want to see Georgia Bama again, or do we just want to see Ohio State or Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, that'll be essentially what it would be.
Yeah. For sure.
You know,
Agreed. Agreed. And I think that essentially what we're saying is Georgia just has to win. I mean, Georgia honestly has to win this game. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, they have to win in order to
well,
stay.
to keep Bama out of it,
Yeah.
Georgia doesn't have to win to make playoffs because they've
Yeah,
already
yeah, yeah.
solidified the
But
spot.
as far as really just locking in that spot, as far as not if they do get bumped out of one, they still would have to win in order just to secure a spot within that top four of the college football playoffs.
Well, if they lose, then that would be the last game of the season. So it would be
Mm-hmm.
nothing else. So it would
Yeah.
be what the committee feels. And to me, if they lose, you kind of can't push them out. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because I mean they ran the table with the SEC, which is several ranked teams. They played Tennessee, They beat up on an Ole Miss team, a ranked Kentucky team at one point. They beat Auburn, which came close to beating Bama. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, but it's kind of be hard, even if Georgia loses, to take them out of
Mm-hmm.
the playoffs. I mean, of course, then Michigan would jump up. I would even argue that Washington would jump up just because of the fact that I mean they were undefeated if they would have went out. So that would leave Ohio State and whoever else. So I mean it would be kind of hard to keep them out of the
Mm-hmm.
playoffs, though, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, if they were to take them out of the playoffs, then I wouldn't be watching playoffs, in my opinion. I'm just being
I
honest
I
because
think a lot of people will probably end up just saying, you know what, this season just probably wasn't meant to be
yeah, because like I
anymore.
mean, what are we doing at that point? Like I
Yeah,
mean, the
yeah,
object of the game is to win, right? The object
hmm
of the game is to beat people and beat
exactly.
good teams, right? But if you lose one, I mean, let's be real, you lose to, even though people are talking bad about this
Hmm.
Bama team still is good. I mean, let's be
Yeah,
real, and they're still led by the GOAT himself, Nick Saban. So let's not sit here and think, oh, because you know I hate when people do this. Oh well, we beat them by 7 points, so we a little better. Or we killed this team and y'all didn't. That don't matter. You know what I'm saying? It's how you prepare for the game that's in front of you. You know what
hmm,
I'm saying? That it don't matter how much another team beat that same team that you struggle with. They just might have matched up at that particular moment very well. They might have had this one circled and been watching y'all all season. We don't know.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? So it's not about how somebody else played the team. It's about what the team that played them, if they played them well, what did they do well?
yeah,
And then even that, if they do something well one time, don't mean it's gonna do well again. So
hmm,
if I'm loading the box and that's working, don't mean that when I come in here again, that if I load the box, it's gonna work again. Because now they know, hey, they probably gonna try to load the box against us.
hmm,
Light bulb, they do that. Let's throw the ball. Or
yeah,
light bulb, let's run outside. Or light bulb, let's run something else or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it might not work it might work that one game, but it might not work later on down the line. But what you do in watching film, you just find the tendencies.
hmm,
Like little small things. Like when they line up like this, usually that means this. Just like with I know we don't talk about pro, but just like with pro, when the Eagles line up in that tush push line formation, you know what? The tush push is coming, or they running the ball on the end
yeah,
around or
hmm,
whatever.
yeah,
Now, it might work one time that you stop them, but you don't know what else they got coming out of that formation. You know what I'm saying? They could do an end around, double reverse. We don't know. You know what I'm saying? So that's the beauty of football. You have to re-evaluate everybody every week and prepare as best you can to beat them. I mean,
yeah,
you know, learning their tendencies, learning their formations, as far as like knowing, okay, if they line up like this is what you know this usually means.
hmm,
You know, okay, they got an extra tight end out here. He usually runs to the flat on this play. You know, and when they develop, that's how. If you ever notice, most time when cornerbacks get those pick sixes as they breaking on the ball, that's
hmm,
usually film. I seen you run to the flat on film. I seen you developing to run to the flat on in game. I know this is coming. Let me jump this. That's usually what happens with that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's all a part of that. But I mean, like I said, we have to see what happens.
yeah.
Bama controls their fate, but also I know they praying for some people to lose too. So
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, with this Iron Bowl ending in three, let's go ahead and go over to the next game that ended within 7 points. I just look at this as the Kentucky brawl because that's essentially what it felt like this year. Kentucky Louisville, number 10 Louisville getting upset by Kentucky this year, man. Ray Davis put on an absolute clinic on the ground with 76 yards and a touchdown, but it just felt like the man pretty much just kept running through people's kids, and it was one of the most just I don't know.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It was beautiful, but it was hard to watch because you just know that's someone's child. And
Nah, it's poetry in motion. Poetry in motion. This is
I
football.
mean,
This
uh,
football. We don't take no prisoners.
I think, but you know what's also wild? I also really think this is a crazy stat. Devin Leary, right, Kentucky's quarterback, threw the ball through 22 times, right? 12 completions, but check this out: 206 passing yards.
Well, when you get the ball to your players in space,
Mm-hmm.
you get the ball to your player makers. What we say every day on this show.
Players
Players
make
make
plays.
plays.
Yep.
You ain't gotta complete 300 pass. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You get my coach used to tell me all the time in school. He said every play I draw up is designed to score.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you to execute it, right?
Yep.
So you go out there, you execute it.
Mm-hmm.
Players make plays. They get in space. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and that's SEC football. I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I'm saying? ACC football. I mean, this is what jokers do.
Yeah.
And then the fact that Louisville is good this year. I mean, it was a good game. It was a good
Yeah.
weekend.
Absolutely. And what's even wilder, out of those 12 completions, Devin Leary got 3 touchdowns. So again, I really think this game was what was needed. I mean, it was back and forth. The fans were into it, and I mean, bro, like just going back because unfortunately I wasn't able to watch this game live, but just the highlights, man. I mean, this is what college football is all about, and I just
Right.
love. I hate, but I enjoy rivalry week because of games like this. You know, you got the Bama game. I mean, the Bama Auburn game, and then you got games like this Kentucky Louisville game. It really makes college football worth watching. Like
Right.
this is what the season really is
You
all
know,
about, and
you
I can't
know,
stress that.
it's a level of pettiness as
Hmm.
well too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's like Auburn. We know we was like when we were playing. We knew. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. Well, Bama got a chance to make playoffs,
Yeah.
but if we beat them, they don't. And then
Hmm.
then you on the other side, you got Kentucky saying, "Oh, Louisville got a chance to make a run or whatever. They good this year." But if we beat them, they cut all that out.
Hmm.
And lo and behold, what happens? You know what I'm saying? I mean, it didn't happen with the Auburn Bama game, but Louisville, Kentucky, same thing. I mean, this is what this week is for.
Yeah.
It's the last weekend for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's the week where everything's getting to the nitty gritty. Everybody's preparing for playoffs. Everybody preparing for the conference championship. Everybody's watching their TV screens because football season is about to end. It's not gonna be the same after this week. You know, like you can't turn on your TV, and if your team ain't in it, you ain't gonna see them. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying. So everybody's tuning in this week.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
this week is like one of those weeks. Like anything can happen. We've seen some of the craziest plays and the craziest games and the
Hmm.
craziest hits. On this week.
Hmm.
And this weekend is always a week that I look forward to from the beginning of the
Yeah.
season. Like, yo, let's get to this rival week. That's what I'm saying. That's what we want to see.
Hmm.
You know. So
Yeah. And I really think this game too, it really fell from Louisville, right? There were some fumbles. There were some turnovers. But I think the most questionable turnover was from Devin Leary. Like I talked to you about this play. It was a 3rd and 9, and of course there was like maybe four. I think I said what it was like maybe less than five, maybe so like 4:30 left on the clock, and there was a costly interception from Devin Leary on 3rd and 9. Right, I asked you in situations like that for people that are listening or watching this. In a situation like that, do you take the sack or do you throw it out? Now, I asked you on a 39 play like that because again, there was still time left on the clock. You get the punt, get the ball back, and you score because essentially what's going to probably end up happening is Louisville will get the ball, score, and you still have time on the clock, and you get the ball back and you score, pretty much game over, honestly. Because I think if I'm correct, Louisville was still down. So talk to me about that 3rd and 9
So
play.
I
What was
mean,
you
so
doing?
I mean, there's a lot of ways you can look at it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
mean, most of the time, like what I like to say is you don't ever want to take a sack.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes I know you can't avoid it, but you don't ever want to take one. But you also don't want to force a pass either.
Mm-hmm.
So what I always say is if you can spot a receiver out of bounds, whatever, you know, if you can spot a receiver, you can throw it to where nobody can catch it. If you just can't get it to him, instead of forcing a play, you know, live to fight another down. Meaning, if you throw it out of bounds, clock stops, no harm, no foul. It's still 9 yards. You still at the same place. You don't lose anything. You don't gain anything either. Besides maybe a stop clock, but for the most part, you're neutral at that moment. So even though you have to punt, you're not punting from deeper back. Because we know sacks can eat up 5 yards, 10 yards, and when you got a close game those yards count. 1, 2 yards count. Because that's the difference between you being in field goal range and not being in field goal range, or you being, you know, having a touchdown or you not having a touchdown. So, me personally, I mean, it's rarely a time that I would say is the right time to take a sack.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it has to, for me, in my opinion, it has to literally be where you just can't get away.
Yeah.
So instead of forcing a play, you just go down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but for me, any other time, you throwing it away where nobody can catch it, and you live to fight another day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
Yeah.
that's that's me.
Yeah.
You know.
Agreed. And I really think, again, it still worked out in their favor. They were able to get the ball back
Oh yeah,
as
for sure.
intended, and they scored, and they won the game. And I mean, this Governor's Cup, I said Kentucky Brawl earlier. This Governor's Cup was definitely, I think,
I like
one
Kentucky
that
Brawl a little better than Governor's
I
Cup.
think okay. It's a lot of Governor's Cups, but I like Kentucky Brawl too, bro. Like that
Governor's
sounds a
Cup
lot more.
sounds like golf or some junk. Like we finna go play polo,
Yeah, but you know,
ask for a
Georgia Tech
sport
and
of
Georgia
tea or something.
Georgia Tech and Georgia is the same thing. Well, they're playing for the Governor's Cup, but it's called, of course, the God. It's not. It's the How did it
Come on,
just slip
come
my
on, Georgia
mind?
fan. Come on, Georgia fan. What's going on?
It's not the Deep South's oldest rivalry, because that's
Well, obviously,
yeah, it's
obviously,
clean old fashioned hate. Sorry, clean old fashioned hate. So like, I think the whole rivalry names and stuff, they're pretty cool, but I think this
it
next one
just
is
doesn't
just like,
match the sport. I would say
it doesn't
it doesn't match
it
the sport.
doesn't it
Now
does
it may be
not,
some,
bro.
she may be some history behind it because it's like the Iron Bowl. Although
Hmm.
it fits, the history behind it for me is just like okay,
I
you
guess.
know,
I guess.
someone literally named it that, like.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know it because I googled it after the game. But anyway, that's either
Which
here
is,
nor there.
I mean, but no, like, our
But
curiosity. Listen, when you get curious, sometimes your curiosity,
yeah.
it works in your favor.
Well,
But
that kind of tells you how deep that some of these rivalries go. Because
yeah, yeah.
if you
I
think
mean,
about it, like even going back, not trying to get off subject,
no, no,
but
no. Hey, listen, we
even with
got
Auburn
time.
and Bama, like outside of this game, the
Hmm.
detention, a lot of the traditions that both teams have come
Hmm.
from the other team.
Yeah.
You know, like the roll tide, like was literally from an Auburn fan.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because think about what Auburn does when they win. What do? They roll the trees, right?
Hmm.
You know, not coincidental that their teams roll tide. You know,
Hmm.
so you know what I'm saying. And then you say we're gonna beat the crap out of them. So jokers, that's how they started with the tissue.
Hmm.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying. So the history, you know what I'm saying, coincides with each other. But a lot of these rivalries are like that, like
Yeah.
Ohio State, Michigan, which we're about to talk about soon. Their rivalries are run deep, and
Hmm.
different things coincide from both schools. Like
Yeah.
so um, I just don't. The governor's thing is just I
Yeah.
can't.
The
I
Governor's
just can't
Cup,
get
but
over that.
I would have to ask some people because I know a few people that work from the Louisville side of things. I would have to ask them because I don't think it's. Yeah, I think it is the Governor's Cup.
No, I mean it's definitely the Governor's Cup.
It's
I just don't
definitely
know the
the
history
Governor's
behind
Cup.
it. Because I mean, like I'm like, okay, well, what is
Yeah.
Kentucky? Well, I can see why it's called the Governor's because Kentucky does a lot of horse racing and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So
That's another good way to look at it.
I have to do my research, but it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. It still doesn't fit football in my opinion, because
uh It's
But
pretty, but I think the game, which is Ohio State and Michigan. I mean, but the thing is, the game is kind of like, again. This is
I
probably
mean,
one
you
of the
got to
most.
think. But look at the history of that. Like
That's what
that
I'm.
was
Yeah,
the game.
exactly.
Like that was like this is like before social media, before all of this. It's like this is the game. This is
Yeah.
the game for like of all time. Like
Hmm.
we don't like y'all, you don't like us.
Hmm.
So this is the game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you got to think about it. Ohio State has a winning history. Michigan obviously has a winning history.
Hmm.
And they just happen to play each other every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So and they're right there together.
Hmm.
So it's like, I mean, you think about it. Like, I mean, that fits. Deep
Yeah.
South Oldest rivalry fits. We go a long way back. Iron Bowl, although it was given to us not by somebody necessarily, you know, a part of it or whatever, I mean, it fits.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron, meaning I don't like you, you don't like me, but we gonna give you the best, you gonna give us the best.
Right.
Iron sharpens
Right.
iron, you know?
Yeah.
So I get it. But Governor's Cup, that's a stretch, dog. I mean,
Governor's
I
Cup,
get, I
man.
get, that you in Kentucky, but gosh, like,
Yeah.
what are we
But
doing? We not wearing suits. We getting down and dirty in the trenches.
I
What
mean,
you,
hey, listen, Kentucky is literally just one of those states that, like, hey, we're better than you.
I ain't better than many people, but
I mean, hey, that's maybe they think that, but listen, hey, the game, Ohio State, Michigan, man. Let me tell you something. This game here, not only did it have a lot before. Okay, I'll put it like this: at least we didn't see a lot of that pregame stuff that we see in past years. With the whole brawls in the hallways and all that stuff, which is I
I
think
miss that.
it brings
I
excitement,
miss
but it's
that.
just like,
No,
okay,
bump that. I
ah,
don't like you. You don't like me. I go to this school. You go to this school.
yeah,
But this moment, I hate you. That is it.
yeah,
That's it.
hmm,
Now bump that. Bring them back. I want them back.
yeah,
This is because that to me shows that you had pride in the school that you went to. You had pride in what you were doing. You were there for a purpose.
hmm,
I'm better than you. Okay, no, I'm better than you.
hmm,
Bump that. Like I'm finna show you. Because if you think about it, football, although for me, because I love the game, is poetry in motion for me. It is a brutal sport.
hmm,
You
yeah,
gotta be some kind of crazy that they gonna hit a joker 3 times bigger than you, running 4 5s and 4 3s at full speed, trying to take your head off, and then you have the audacity to run straight at them in the middle of all. Like, I mean, football is a tough sport,
hmm,
so you have to have some type of, you know what I'm saying, some type of oomph about yourself. So I say bring the fights back. That was the best time in football. Like Auburn Bama game got a little chippy. I stood up in my seat like I was on the sideline. Shoot, we was finna, you know what I'm saying? I was ready. What you mean? You don't be talking to my quarterback like that. I,
Imagine if, ladies and gentlemen, imagine seeing Stackz go head first into his TV.
hey man, hey, one call, that's all. I'm on the
Oh
way.
my god!
I'm on the way to
Oh
Broad.
my
I'm
god,
ready. Hey
man!
man, hey, I'm
That,
here for it. I'm here for it.
yeah, no, but again, this game was really definitely something. I mean, I could not be mad at the outcome as much as I would have loved to see Ohio State versus Georgia again. I think this game pretty much ended how it should have. Um, Also, I do want to say this before we really get into the game. So, although the quarterback play did not look to um what some people may be accustomed to just like the whole airing it out, all this, that, and the third. You're not going to get that from these quarterbacks. These quarterbacks are game managers, right? So both had tremendous QBRs. I think JJ McCarthy had like within 90, and I want to say Kyle McCoy had within 80 with or so. So very good play from both of these quarterbacks, and I really had to do some studying post game and really like sit down and analyze both of these guys because I think I'm one of these people who I'm just so accustomed to just seeing quarterbacks just air it out every play, and I have to
Well,
really dial back. I
when you
have
think
to,
about it, go ahead, go
yeah,
ahead, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
have to really dial back and say, hey, okay, let's actually respect and get a different view of these other quarterbacks that come in because every quarterback is not going to be a Pac-12 or a Big 12 quarterback just launching it downfield every play of the game. So, again, great play from both of these quarterbacks. With Kyle and JJ, a great battle, which which was definitely something. It
Right.
was something. It was something. It wasn't
I,
bad, but it was just something. It was something different.
no, it wasn't. To me, it wasn't anything different. I just think that the quarterbacks can air it out with the best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That both of them can. It's to me the team's strength is other places.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like with Michigan, like because I watched that game from front to back.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan McCarthy is to me is good. He has a good arm. The touch he has on the ball is beautiful. I know you saw that play, that touchdown play where he split the defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God! In real time, that was so pretty. That was
Mm-hmm.
poetry in motion. But he can throw it. Like I mean, he can throw it. Like you saying that that you don't think the people don't think that they can air it out with the best of them. I think they can.
Mm-hmm.
I just personally think that Michigan's strength is in its run game because of how good of a running back they have and how good of a line they have.
Mm-hmm.
So when you've got a running back that can score 3 or 4 touchdowns a game, why would I air it out all the
Mm-hmm.
time? Because
Yeah.
then you see all my sets. Then you see you have more film on me. Then you have more to study. Then you kind of got me figured out.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think that all I can do is run, that's all you're gonna focus on.
Yeah.
You know? But if running is getting me the points, think about it. Running back had what he had I know he had 3 touchdowns at least.
He had two with 88 yards. Blake
Okay,
Corum.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. So I know okay two. So even with that, I mean they only scored what 28 points? Something like that?
30.
30. Okay, so 30 points. So he
Mm-hmm.
had half of their points, just like
Mm-hmm.
that, off rip. Um so with that in mind, I mean you and then what I think the turning point for that game was when their center, the leader of their
Yeah.
team,
Got
when he
injured.
got
Yeah.
hurt, I think they were like, okay, man, look, let's get this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's when they started,
Yeah.
running it up on both sides of the ball.
Well, yeah.
So
Blake
and
Corum scored the next play.
right, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. So with that being said, for me, Michigan is scary
Mm-hmm.
because we don't know what to expect from them.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
we know that their run game is strong, but we've yet to see them let loose on JJ McCarthy. We haven't seen them like say, hey, you go out there and get this win for us. You know? And I
Mm-hmm.
think if they have to play a Georgia or something like that, I think that he's gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
And I think if they have any shot of it, it's gonna have to come with him, taking the wheel and saying, hey, I got us, because everybody's gonna be scheming to shut down the run game
Mm-hmm.
because that's their strength, you know. But if he can air it out and put the ball on the money like he
Yeah.
did on the few pass attempts he did on Saturday,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he looks ugly. And then on the other side, with Ohio State, I think that their quarterback is he's got some work. You
Well,
know,
and that's the thing too. Like with Cal McCord, I think we were blessed enough to see C.J. Stroud last season with Ohio State, and just the way that he played. I mean, pretty much the kid could do it all. But now we have a quarterback like Kyle McCord who's more so has that pocket presence. Now, CJ had the pocket presence, but he could run. Kyle McCord, you're going to get a passing quarterback. You're going to get a pocket
but
quarterback.
if that's the case, then that means they should have won that game because the
Agreed.
pockets, the open. You got arguably the best receiver in college football
Hmm.
with Marvin Harrison Jr. It's no way. It's no way. You can't scheme to get him open.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Michigan's defensive plan, their plan of attack for him was very good.
Hmm.
But you can't, and then on the other side of the ball, I mean, you got to, I can't never pronounce his name, so I'm not even gonna say it. But
Who
the
who
other
are
the
you
other
about to?
receiver for Ohio State.
Oh,
See, I
Igbuka,
ain't even finna butcher it. I know
Igbuka.
I'm gonna butcher it. But yeah, but
Yeah.
even him,
Uh
you
huh.
know what I'm saying. So there's no reason that you should have those type of receivers and can't get them the ball where they
Hmm.
need it. And then you have a running back that is playing his mind out.
Yeah.
Last few games. That's kind of like, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
but I also know that he's young.
Hmm.
So he's got some
Exactly.
developing to do.
And I mean,
You know.
he threw two costly picks, and you can't fault him for it. But again,
Ah, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can.
well, hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. When I say you can't fault him for it, the game still ended within 6 points. So he did somewhat do the job that was intended as far as getting the ball in the end zone. But when you do have those pick, hear me out. Hear me out.
I'm listening. I'm
When
listening.
you you shake your head, but you listen.
I'm listening. That's why I'm
when you
shaking my head.
I know, but when you have two picks like that, it's room for growth, like you said. It's good that he had those interceptions because now when he goes back and look at this game film, he sees, hey, okay, this is what I need to do differently. Not even when I play Michigan, but next time I get on the field because they still have to play. What I'm if I'm not mistaken, in their conference championship, correct?
Right.
So this is what I need to look at differently the next time I throw this ball. Or this is what I need to try to
Yeah,
find.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this is the receiver I need to try to find before I throw this ball. So it's
I
good
mean,
to have those errors, but at the same
no,
time,
you're right.
don't make
You're
it a
right.
habit.
But no, but see, this is the last game of the season.
Yeah. Hmm.
Those errors got to start being ironed out beginning of the season, and okay,
Hmm.
if you stretch it out mid season, because right now everything matters. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So beginning of the season, okay, you can make those mistakes. Because prime example, Bama making those mistakes, and now they're in position to possibly make a playoff run. Right? If they lose late, that's over. Even if they were to have been undefeated, you lose late, that there's no coming back from that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's in everybody else's fate at that point if you lose late.
Hmm.
So for him, I think that he should have had those type of things ironed out
Hmm.
because some of the passes that he was making was very questionable. Like I'm not gonna sit here and bash him. He made some good plays,
Hmm.
but also on top of that, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. Like you literally have one of, if not the top receiver in this class,
Hmm.
right, coming out of college right now. So
Yeah.
I don't care what you got to do. The ball should be going to him at some points. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it should be going to him more than what it's been going to him. There's no way that he has like the attempts. I mean, the catches and the targets that he has. You know,
Yeah.
when you're that talented, like So he just got to clean those up. But
Yeah.
unfortunately for him, he's not going to have that talent next year. They're
Yeah.
gone.
Yep.
So if they're gone, what are you going to do when you don't have the same type of talent? You know. So
Yeah.
that's my thing. You know.
And I do want to apologize. I misspoke. It's going to be Michigan and Iowa in the conference championship, not Ohio State. I apologize for that. So they won't get that opportunity. So this is pretty much they have to show
Right.
if
I think the game Saturday was for the who goes to the
yeah,
conference championship.
exactly.
Right. So
So this game, if I'll put it like this, if they make it into the final rankings of the college football playoffs, Kyle McCord really needs to take that look in the mirror.
he not even just to look in the mirror. He need to be. If I'm him, I'm on the practice field already. You
Yeah.
know, I'm in the film room already. You know what I'm saying? I'm with Marvin Harrison Jr. already.
Mm.
You know, I'm with Ibuku Baku
Close,
Shakalakadaka.
close, close,
he
close.
I'm with him. I'm on the
Yeah.
field with him, and I'm with my coaches. Like, yo,
Mhm.
what am I missing? You
Yeah.
know, oh, my back foot was off on this one. Oh,
Mhm.
I threw off my front foot. I didn't get set on this, or on this play. You know, I thought it was going here, but it was
Mhm.
really here. That's what he needs to be doing already. Bump if you know what your fate is. I'm cleaning that up already because I already know if I don't get to the playoffs, I'm still going to a bowl game.
Mhm.
So I gotta clean that up for that. And then I got next year, so I'm getting an early start on everything, regardless if I know I'm going to the championship or not, or the playoffs or not. So he's gotta figure out, you know what I'm saying? He just gotta get back in that film room,
Mhm.
get on the field, get chemistry with his receivers, learning, who goes where on the defense. I mean, not
Yeah.
saying that, they lost the game because of him, because that is far from the truth. But
Yeah. It's a
it's
it's a
just
team
in
game.
those moments, like I always say, with quarterbacks or any player,
Uh huh.
your legacy and how good you are comes when your back's against the wall and the game is on the line.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
we look at Tom Brady. I know we don't talk about professional, but it's just as a comparison. When you
Hmm.
look at Tom Brady, you think about the comeback. You think about him coming back on the Falcons. You think about you know him taking a winning culture to Tampa Bay. And
Hmm.
you think about his comebacks. You know what I'm saying? Nobody talks about his losses. They talk about his wins and they talk about his comebacks.
Hmm.
So when he gets in the fourth quarter, nobody's shook. He could be down 2 touchdowns. Get in the fourth quarter. Oh, we got Brady. We straight. You know that's what you want to hear. Like C.J. Stroud last year. Didn't nobody think that Ohio State was gonna lose that game?
Yeah.
Why? Because C.J. Stroud is calm, cool, collected,
Hmm.
and had him in position.
Hmm.
It just so happens it's out of his hands. So when I say you got to clean those things up, I'm not putting the game on it. It's just when the game is on the line, 2 minute drill, 4 minute drill, like whatever. You got to know what to do in those scenarios. Like when you were talking about with Kentucky, him throwing that irate pass and
Hmm.
throwing it in the coverage. You've got to clean those things up and calm yourself down, like to understand the situation. So just the situational awareness, I think that is an underlooked and underappreciated quality,
Hmm.
and not just a quarterback, but in players in general. Like you got to have a short memory.
Yeah.
You know,
It's again right, like you said, a short memory, and man, you really just hate to see that because I was fortunate enough to actually see Marvin Harrison in person. I was able to volunteer for the Peach Bowl last year with Georgia and Ohio State, and man, just the plays that kid made in order to
right,
just find the end zone, it was just, like you said, it was a thing of beauty, man. I mean,
right.
his route running is pretty much compared to no other. I mean, the routes his route tree is insane.
They can run every route in the route tree.
His
But
route tree
look
is
at who his daddy is.
disgusting. Yeah,
He
yeah.
he he just
I mean,
all
Marvin Harrison was an absolute menace in Indianapolis, and I mean, it was almost like, man, like you just got to sit there like this, like wow, like you're just in awe because you just don't see anything like it, and it's the craziest thing ever. So
He's got the size, the speed,
yeah,
route
yeah,
tree, the
yeah.
feet. Like I mean, the hands. Like I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everything you want in a receiver, he got
Yep.
it. He
Yep.
got it.
Yep.
And that's why I
Absolutely.
don't understand. Like if you got that, like think about with Bama that year with Mac Jones. Mac
Mhm.
Jones didn't win those championships. The receivers did. I mean, I'm just being honest. I mean, the quarterback just gets the credit and the blame. I mean, that's why it's the hardest position in football.
Mhm.
Is that is why it is considered the hardest position in football. I'm not gonna say it's the hardest position in football, but I think mentally, it's the hardest position in football.
Mhm.
You know, and some physical because you getting hit by grizzly bears every goddamn play, but
Whew.
but that's why because you get the blame if your team loses. You could have scored 5 touchdowns passing through the air, but then your defense let up 6.
Mhm.
You get blamed. Oh man, if you'd have threw 7, we'd have won. Like I mean, what do you
Yeah.
want me to do? I went 30
Yeah.
for 30 and threw 5 touchdowns. What do you want me to do?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's tough. It's tough. But like I said, like I mean, that's why I don't understand what's going on. Cause you
Mhm.
got a talent like that. You should be, I mean, I know you can't play both sides. You don't play defense, but offensively, you should have been, right there. You know, after the
Yeah.
first pick, for me, it's been like, all right, bet I'm not gonna make that mistake again. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna, you know. But easier said than done. I don't know what he's seeing out there. I don't know, what he thought he saw or what he felt. Cause I mean, that's real. You got big jokers coming at you from all angles. I mean, you gotta
Yeah.
kind of, and you gotta know where everybody is at all times. So I mean, yeah. So
Yeah. And again, like you said, everybody can't beat Travis Hunter. So, um, you really hate to see it because I mean Marvin Harrison was a talent. Like that's a generational talent in itself. So I really really hope when he it's a lot of guys that we forgot to mention that was really like pro ready, which is Ray Davis from Kentucky. Uh, Also Blake Corum who played on the other side for Michigan, NFL ready. Marvin Harrison NFL ready. Ibuka NFL ready.
yeah, I mean,
So yeah, it's
I
all
mean,
these.
let's. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, all these cats can go.
yeah,
But to me, I only see one that's like built like he's already ready for the NFL.
hmm,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Marvin Harrison Jr. to me looks like an NFL receiver. Like
hmm,
he's big, he's fast, he runs every route in the route tree. Like he has zero weaknesses,
hmm,
zero. You know, I mean, what else could you ask for? To me, he can go play for anybody and become a factor. You
yeah,
know, like,
yeah,
I can't say that about the rest of the guys. Like to me, him and Brock Bowers would be the two guys for me that are like, okay, you go to the NFL now. I know you gonna do numbers. You probably could be in a running for rookie of the year and then be in the hunt for like the top players at your position. Like,
hmm,
Travis Kelce talking about retirement. I think Brock Bowers is gonna take his spot type of thing. Like as far as like being like a top tier tight end, just because he
hmm,
can do everything.
yeah.
He
Agreed.
likes to block. He likes to get out of space and run. He's fast. You know, same thing with Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison, I've seen him block. I've seen him throw blocks. I mean, come on. He catch every pass that you throw his way. You throw it in his vicinity. You pretty much coming
Yeah,
down with the ball. But those
yeah.
two for me, um, are the two that I would say are NFL ready. The rest of them
Okay.
can go. I mean, of course, Michigan's running back. I think he could play in the NFL, but I don't think he's quite NFL ready like the rest, like those other two.
I think the thing with Blake Corum is his injuries may have kind of affected him in some type of way because he did have some really significant injuries. Now,
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah, anytime, regardless if it's minor or major, it could always roll over into being something that could possibly come back, God forbid, but it can always come back when you
Right.
get into the pros, and come back to bite you. So, but for him to have come back, from those
Oh no,
injuries and
I'm
really,
not. Oh no, no,
yeah,
no, no. I'm not saying that he's bad.
yeah,
I
no, no,
like
no,
the
yeah,
comeback.
no,
I
I
like
agree,
the
yeah,
comeback. I just
mm-hmm.
think that because the running back position, the receiver position, and the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback position are just different
Yeah,
when you get to the NFL. Now defense, you can kind of pick up where you left off, kind of sort of, because you can kind of get the coverages, know where you're supposed to be at, and just be a menace. We see a lot of guys like that come in the league, like you know, and are beasts. From college to the NFL, the defensive players at least. You know, but on offense, when you playing receiver, you going against jokers same size as you,
mm-hmm.
just as fast, if not faster. And then you got linebackers that's ready to take your head off. And
Yeah,
you got grown men. Like you playing running back, you lining up against an Aaron Donald. It's just different. You know, it's like feet. Like Corum is strong, and I've seen his workout routine. He has a low center of gravity.
mm-hmm.
He's fast. But I just gotta see how he does at the next level. He just, like I said, he's good. I just don't see that he's NFL ready as of right now. You know, I think that he can get to that point. I think that he gets some more. He gets fast, a little bit faster. You know what I'm saying? Get a little bit stronger. You know, I think he's got the vision. He's got the vision. It's just some things I don't know. NFL is more like the eye test type of thing.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Well, let's not carry on this topic because we've hit that hour mark, and let's talk some women basketball now. Before we start, let me just say this real quick. We've had some some discussions, and as well as we've had some people ask us, well, why y'all not talking about men as much as you do the women? Well, because pretty much the blue bloods have taken over in college basketball in men's division, but with the women's right now, it's a lot of unexpectancy going on right now. Like North Carolina State has jumped into the top five,
yeah,
which
they are
is
balling. They are
uh,
balling.
like
Right,
like really
right.
their last ranked win was against, if I'm not mistaken, we said it was against number 7 Colorado, or was it Iona?
Colorado. Yep.
Yes,
And
number
even
3.
Colorado coming out of
Colorado is number 3.
right. They're,
Uh,
they're, they're number three now. So
yes.
it's the team like women's basketball now is getting to be
Mhm.
like men's basketball is like
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, like it's getting competitive, like everybody's like getting a piece. Like at one point kind of knew like UConn and all of these girls
Purdue.
yeah, we knew who was
Yes.
pretty much gonna be it, but now you got LSU, South Carolina, you got North Carolina State. Now you got Colorado in the mix, Iowa. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody is competing right now. Like
Mhm.
it's getting real. Like I mean,
Yeah.
and of course you still got UConn, who's always a threat to make a run at any given moment.
You want to know where
So
UConn is? 11. That's how you know that the women's division is not playing around. Like,
right,
these are
right.
teams that we usually don't get a chance to really see that are jumping into the top 10, top 25. Like, it's nobody's business. Like, these teams are actually brother. Princeton just jumped into the top 25. Princeton.
That lets you know, bro. Like last year was so surreal. It's so
Hmm.
important for women's basketball.
Yeah.
If you have that many people watching, that many people paying attention,
Mm.
you have a fun game like that when you got one of the top girls at her position, or if not in the entire ACAA, playing on one side, and then you have LSU, which is as a whole was just great. Like
Yeah.
you got, I mean, it's like you can't make this up. You got, Flage, she's rapping and making songs with Lil Wayne and doing all kind of stuff, and then you got Angel Reese, who is doing her thing, showing like like talking junk, making it cool again for girls, pop their nose on the basketball court. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Caitlin Clark on the other side doing her thing, and she's doing the same thing. They're
Insane.
going back and forth. Like this is the competitive nature that makes sports in general so
Mhm.
fun, and the fact that we have women's basketball doing the same thing. I'm loving it. I'm
Yeah,
loving it.
absolutely. Also, while you're on the topic of LSU, I do want to say this. So, of course, we've pretty much have heard, the what's the best way to put this? We've heard the whole talk around, um who am I trying to say here? Why do I lose my train of thought like this?
The whole
With
chatter back and forth from
yes,
Angel
with
Reese and her
Angel and,
mom.
and
Yeah,
yeah, all that.
yeah. I mean, that I wasn't gonna bring it up and talk about it because I
But
don't
no, no,
want
no,
to.
no, no. That we're
You
not
know,
going to talk about it. But there's a player on LSU who has stepped. I mean, stepped. Would I say the biggest stepper? Anessa Morrow, guard, junior guard. Her last game that they played against, um, it was I want to say it was Virginia. It was Virginia, brother. You ready for this stat line? I gotta hear you. I gotta hear you. You
yeah,
ready for this
yeah. I'm
stat
ready.
line? 37 points, 16 rebounds, 2 assists, 1
What's
block.
what's that? What's that saying? Wait your turn. Wait your turn and ball
Man,
out. She's a junior. Angel Reese is out. You go.
six
You go.
one,
Huh?
6'1", with 16 rebounds, brother.
Balling. I mean, players make plays at
That
the
is
end of the day.
disgusting.
Like I
That
mean,
is
we like, bro, like this is what we do. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm loving that the girls' game is
hmm
getting the love and they balling, dog.
yeah.
I'm loving it. I'm loving some of the best women I know that hoop. You know what I'm saying? Like I know, you know what I'm saying, a few
hmm
that go toe to toe with anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm loving the fact that the girls' game is getting so much respect and love now. You
hmm
know what I'm saying? As opposed to in prior years.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It's
for
great.
sure.
It's a great thing, and it's great to see that women's basketball is on the trend, and it's great to see, man, because they deserve it. I mean,
Right.
in my opinion, they play just as hard as the men do, and
I'm gonna
so
I'm gonna say this: for if somebody gotta ask us why we only cover the women and not the men,
mhm.
then obviously we need to cover the women because nobody's
You're
talking
not
about it.
watching. You're
Right.
not
You're not
watching.
watching it and you're not
Yeah,
talking
you're not
about it. So
watching
this
it.
is the college couch. We don't talk about just one side of the sport or
hmm
whatever. We talk about everybody.
Yeah,
You know, we want to dive into everybody. We want everybody to get some shine, get some love, get some light. And these women is hooping and they balling. They deserve every penny they getting. You know what I'm saying? And the sport is coming around and I'm loving it. I'm
absolutely,
loving it.
absolutely. Well, again, hey, this is a perfect place to put that bookmark and go ahead and wrap this thing on up. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's been another great episode of the College House Podcast. Thank y'all so much for all the love and support. You heard a great speech from the loveliest plains in all of Alabama's number one fan, Stackz Delbridge, which was amazing. Made me, I'm telling you, man, I teared up a little bit over here. And great episode, great episode. Thank you guys, thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. We really appreciate it. Yeah. Hey, it's only up from here as always. Stackz, take us home, brother.
Hey man, appreciate y'all tuning in. You know what I'm saying? You got somebody you want to get covered, somebody that you know is balling out and they not getting no light, let us know. Let's talk about them. You know what I'm saying? Leave a comment below, like, share, hit us in the DM. We respond. You know what I'm saying? Tell a friend to tell a friend, tell their cousin, tell their uncle, all of that to check us out, man. And I'm going to end it with War Eagle till infinity. We'll holler at y'all. We got bills to pay.
All right.
Uh, wake up, I gotta go get it. Wake up, Wake up, I got